Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on how to eliminate file-borne threats in Amazon S3 with OPSWAT. I'm Loredana Sabo. I'm a product manager at OPSWAT, and I'm joined today by my colleagues from AWS. But before we dive in, let me introduce our panel. As I mentioned, I'm the product manager at OPSWAT, representing the MetaDefender Storage Security product. Joining me are CJ and Chris. CJ is a partner solution architect at AWS, and Chris is the FSI partner solution architect at AWS as well. And together we'll show you how OPSWAT and AWS work better together to secure your cloud file storage. So what we do at OPSWAT, we protect the world's critical infrastructure. Our solutions are trusted by organizations across financial services, government, healthcare, and critical infrastructure sectors globally. And today we'll focus specifically on how we help financial services organizations secure their cloud storage on AWS. So without further ado, let me share the agenda today. So this is what we will cover in the next 45 minutes. First, I'll discuss why now is the critical time for financial services to address file security. Second, we'll explore compliance requirements and how to meet them without compromise. Third, we'll examine the importance of file security in the cloud and on AWS specifically. And fourth, Chris will discuss the AWS shared responsibility model and how OPSWAT fits into your security architecture. And yeah, fifth, I'll share some proven customer outcomes and performance metrics. And finally, CJ will walk through AWS Marketplace deployment options and show you how you can get started in just 3 steps. So why is file security urgent for financial services right now? Let me share some statistics, as the stakes have never been higher for financial institutions when it comes to file security. So these numbers tell a story. The average data breach cost in financial services reached 5.56 million in 2025, and that's 25% above the global average. 65% of financial organizations worldwide reported experiencing a ransomware attack in the last 24 months, and 46% of financial institutions had a data breach in the past 2 years. Again, these aren't just statistics, they represent real business impact, consequences, and damaged customer trust. And I also want to look at how these attacks actually happen. We see 4 primary threat vectors. First, malicious file uploads through customer portals, attackers that disguise malware in seemingly legitimate documents. Second, zero-day exploits, hidden in documents that traditional antivirus can't detect. Third, sensitive data exfiltration via file transfer, so data leaving your organization through file channels. And fourth, ransomware delivered through file attachment. So each of these represents a critical vulnerability point in your file processing workflow. Now, in financial services, specifically, we have several high-risk entry points. Insurance claim submissions with attached documents, KYC, know your customer documentation during customer onboarding, supplier portal uploads, customer service file exchanges, and B2B invoice processing. So every one of these represents a potential attack vector where malicious files can enter your system. The question isn't if you'll encounter threats through these channels, but when and whether you'll be prepared. And that brings us to the fundamental challenge every financial services organization faces. How do you secure file uploads at cloud scale without slowing down business operations? So you need security, but you also need speed, you need scalability and seamless integration within your existing AWS infrastructure. So this is exactly what we'll show you and show you how to achieve this today. Compliance without compromise. So compliance is non-negotiable in financial services, but it doesn't have to be a burden. So that's why I want to look into the MDSS, MetaDefender Storage Security, that helps you meet multiple regulatory compliance simultaneously. So we have MDSS designed to help you meet the most financial services regulations for PCI DSS, requirements 5 and 6. We provide multi-layered malware protection, security testing, vulnerability management. For GDPR, we make sure data processing security is covered. With breach prevention measures. For DORA, we support ICT risk management, incident reporting capabilities, and third-party risk management. We also provide file protection mechanism, integrity controls for integrity monitoring. And again, it's one solution, multiple compliance frameworks addressed. And I think it's important, we couldn't stress this enough, that compliance doesn't exist in a vacuum. So organizations need to manage it across their entire cloud environment with multiple teams and stakeholders involved. So that's why I'm gonna hand it over to Chris, who's going to show you how we help customers navigate that complexity in the cloud. Chris, over to you.
Fantastic. And I don't mind using your share slides. Fantastic. Yeah, let me highlight how these AWS services create a comprehensive compliance framework. AWS Config continuously monitors and records your resource configurations, providing the critical baseline, for compliance assessment. It automatically evaluates resources against your rules and flags violations immediately. System Manager gives you operational visibility and control access to your infrastructure with patch management capabilities that address key compliance requirements around your vulnerability management. Security Hub serves as your central dashboard, correlating findings from AWS servers and partners like OPSWAT to provide prioritized, actionable security insights. When audit time arrives, AWS Audit Manager automatically collects and organizes evidence mapped to specific frameworks like GDPR or HIPAA, dramatically reducing manual effort. Finally, AWS Artifact provides on-demand access to AWS's own compliance reports and agreements, helping you demonstrate to auditors that your cloud infrastructure provider meets necessary standards. Together, these services transform compliance from a periodic scramble into a continuous, manageable process.
Now I want to talk about specifically why file security is crucial in cloud environments, and particularly on AWS, as the cloud introduces unique security considerations that traditional approaches simply can't address. And for financial services, I want to share 4 scenarios. I'll first cover the first 2, the KYC and customer onboarding. So when customers open accounts, what they do is they upload driver's licenses, passports, bank statements, all sensitive documents for identity verification. So you need to validate that these identity documents are legitimate, scanned for malicious content hidden in files, and automatically redact unnecessary PII while keeping what you need for compliance and accelerate onboarding without creating any gaps in terms of security. So every friction point costs your customers, but every will cost your customers, but every security gap will put you at risk. Second of all, insurance claims processing. So customers uploading claim documentation, whether it's records, photos, repair estimates, reports. You need to scan those files as they arrive, detect fraudulent files and malware before they enter your systems, and remove the sensitive data before long-term archival. But again, because you might need claims records for 7 years or no matter how long, but not someone's full medical history, for example. So maintaining a compliance audit trail for regulators is very important. The bottom line is that both scenarios need the same thing, file security that doesn't slow down your business, and that's what we deliver. Now, the second two scenarios, which are also critical, is the B2B invoice processing and bucket protection. And in business-to-business transactions, supplier portals are vulnerable entry points, as I mentioned at the beginning. So organizations must protect those portals, prevent invoice fraud through file-based attacks, and sanitize those documents that they receive from external sources, and maintain clean document repositories. So without proper protection, there's a single compromised invoice that can introduce ransomware or other threats into your financial system, and that's what we're trying to avoid. For organizations storing massive amounts of data in S3 buckets, continuous security obviously is essential, and that means continuous scanning of those buckets to detect threats and prevent the malware distribution points that would compromise the system you're monitoring, obviously, and ensuring compliance across petabytes of data. And what's really important is that in all four scenarios, OPSWAT through MetaDefender Storage Security provides that critical security layer between the file upload and storage, making sure only clean and compliant files reach your systems while maintaining the speed and efficiency your business operations demand. Now, let me show you how OPSWAT and AWS work together architecturally, because this isn't about adding a security tool, it's just creating an integrated cloud-native security architecture. OPSWAT MetaDefender as a platform provides 4 layers of protection. So first, it's MetaScan, which is an analysis with multiple anti-malware engines for the highest detection rates. Second, it's Deep CDR that regenerates the files to protect against invasive malware and zero-day exploits. And third, it's proactive DLP, detecting and blocking sensitive data in files that before they're stored. And fourth, it's vulnerability assessment, so file-based vulnerability assessment to identify risky documents. And together, all these layers provide defense in depth for your file storage. Now, for the integration with AWS EventBridge, which is particularly powerful because this enables real-time file scanning on upload and dramatically reduces API polling costs, providing the ability to auto-scale based on workload, and that's, again, very important for our customers, and creates truly event-driven workflows. And files are scanned at the moment they hit your S3 bucket with no delay and no polling overhead. This is, again, cloud-native architecture at its best, and we couldn't be prouder for this integration. Now, for deployment, you have 3 flexible options to match your requirements. First, it's the cloud-native one, deploy directly from AWS Marketplace with no infrastructure management or updates. Second is the self-hosted on EC2 for complete control and customization, processing your files within your VPC, and using bring your own license model. And the third, the Kubernetes or the container deployment, supporting EKS with 500,000 plus files per hour processing from our latest testing report for horizontal scaling and huge load processing capacity. And again, we want to meet the customers where their data is at. So we emphasize on choosing the deployment model that fits your governance requirements and your architecture. Now, in terms of security, it's not just built into every layer. So we support SIEM integrations via REST APIs for your security operations, YAML-based authentication for access, server-side encryption for protecting data at rest, and client-side encryption supported for zero trust architectures and VPC endpoint support that provide private connectivity without exposure. And again, we emphasize on the security best practices through our products, through our MetaDefender platform. Now, for how it works, when you integrate MetaDefender Storage Security with your operations, you can easily configure bucket auto discovery, and MDSS automatically discovers all the buckets in your account based on a few credentials, and presents them for your selections, lets you monitor them, and apply remediations for the files across multiple buckets instantly. So remediations for the files that were detected as malicious or that our MetaDefender platform considers as blocks. So you can protect hundreds of buckets in minutes, not days. For reporting, this is also built for both security teams and auditors. You see every file processed, the security analysis results, any threats detected, and the remediation actions taken for each particular file. So all this is searchable, filterable, exportable, which leads us to the next feature, which is the reporting that can be exported to PDF formats for audit documentation and shows scan summaries, discovered files, processed files, allowed, blocked, sanitized, remediated, and potentially infected files, files with vulnerabilities, and files with sensitive data, everything an auditor needs to see your security posture. Now, in terms of the single pane of glass, which is the dashboard, we provide real-time visibility into your security operations. So you see scans in progress, statistics on file processing. Obviously, you see here the real-time processing scans that are enabled via event-based. And you can get to see also the issues detected by category, the status of those real-time events, jobs and queues, upcoming events, and your last report. So everything you need to monitor file security, again, on a single pane of glass. So now I want to hand it over to Chris to discuss the AWS data protection challenges. And let me just move the slide up.
Thank you. AWS approaches data sovereignty challenges by working backwards from our customers worldwide who are navigating evolving privacy regulations. We've been talking with customers globally as we seek information about data storage and processing choices. Through our shared responsibility model, we provide infrastructure, services, and features that make it easier for our customers to meet our data protection requirements and simplify the compliance journey. Many customers have asked about privacy compliance in the cloud and performing data transfer impact assessments. So AWS maintains data residency guarantees across 32 regions with specialized sovereignty situations like AWS Outposts. Our objective is always to delight customers and invent on AWS's behalf and our customers' behalf, offering automated compliance reporting through AWS Audit Manager while providing security competency partners to bridge knowledge gaps for organizations with limited cloud expertise. As organizations build cloud security strategy, 4 fundamental questions consistently drive technology decisions. Confidentiality, ensuring sensitive information remains private through proper encryption. Trustworthiness, verifying that data and resources maintain their integrity and authenticity. Control, implementing proper governance over sensitive data throughout its life cycle. And finally, verification, providing evidence to auditors that security controls and compliance requirements are being met. These pillars form the foundation of comprehensive data protection, and that, comprehensive data protection framework that addresses both regulatory requirements and security best practices. At AWS, security is job zero. It underpins everything we build. This philosophy perfectly aligns with what our customers need from modern data protection services. Organizations require comprehensive security that addresses data throughout its entire lifecycle, robust storage and encryption at rest, secure network protocols for data in transit, simplified management for application credentials, and automated lifecycle management to reduce human error. AWS's extensive security capabilities in each of these areas, from KMS for encryption to secret manners for credentials, create a foundation that allows customers to focus on innovation rather than day-to-day cryptographic management. By leveraging these services alongside OPSWAT's specialized protections, organizations can implement comprehensive data sovereignty and security without traditional operational overhead. And we do this through our somewhat famous AWS shared responsibility model. AWS approaches data sovereignty challenges by working backwards from customers worldwide who are navigating evolving privacy regulations. We've been talking to customers globally as we seek information about data storage and processing choices. Through our shared responsibility model, we provide infrastructure and services and features that make it easier for customers to meet our data protection requirements and simplify the compliance journey. Many customers have asked about privacy compliance in the cloud and performing data transfer impact assessments. So AWS Data Residency guarantees across 32 regions with specialized sovereignty solutions like AWS Outposts. Our objective is always to delight customers and invent on their behalf, offering automated compliance reporting through AWS Audit Manager, while providing security competency partners to bridge knowledge gaps for organizations with limited cloud expertise. The AWS shared responsibility is divided into what AWS provides, including infrastructure, physical network security, etc., and what you're responsible for. And I'll go into a little bit more depth in that in a moment. Security in the cloud is a partnership, and that's the essence of AWS's shared responsibility model. Think of it as a clear dividing line between what AWS handles and what remains in your control. AWS takes responsibility for securing the underlying infrastructure, the physical data centers, hardware, networking, and the foundation of that powers our global cloud. This is what we call security of the cloud. For instance, AWS provides hypervisor isolation at a hardware level through their Nitro system architecture, where virtualization functions are offloaded to dedicated hardware and firmware, eliminating the attacked surface of traditional hypervisors while delivering bare metal level performance. This approach fundamentally changes how infrastructure security is implemented compared to traditional on-premise virtualization. The model recognizes that you need flexibility and control over your specific applications and data. That's why customers are responsible for security in the cloud, protecting your data, managing access rights, configuring your application securely, and ensuring your workloads meet compliance requirements. This partnership approach creates a powerful combination: AWS's world-class security infrastructure paired with your specialized knowledge of your business requirements.
Thank you, Chris. Now let's talk results. We don't just talk about security in theory, we have proven outcomes from customers at scale. So let me just share some metrics that matter to us. And the first one is performance. Performance is critical because security slows down businesses that won't adopt to it. So here's what we deliver. It's 75% of files that are processed in less than 1 second, 99% of files that are processed in less than 6 seconds, and we can process over 500,000 files per hour for large-scale deployments. And we obviously scale linearly with Kubernetes, add more nodes, get proportionally more throughput. And this obviously means security with minimal latency impact. Now, more importantly, let's talk about security improvements. We provide 100% zero-day protection with deep CDR compared to only 70% with traditional AV alone. That's a 30-point improvement in protection. We achieve 99% of known malware detection via multiscanning, our MetaScan, better than any single engine that one single engine can provide. And we deliver an 80% reduction in manual review through automated sensitive data detection. That's not just better security, it's also operational efficiency. Now, when we talk about cost optimization and the financial impact, we want to reduce the breach risk, avoiding the average breach cost in financial services. Second, we praise the EventBridge integration, delivering a 60% reduction in S3 API costs versus traditional polling approaches. Third, automated workflows that provide 90% reduction in manual file review time. And fourth, you can consolidate multiple security tools into a single platform. So better security, lower costs, and improved efficiency, that's the complete solution. Now for customers and how we collaborate with our customer, we don't want you to take my word for it. This is what one of our customers stated. And again, this is a financial services organization that tested extensively before deployment. They measured the improvement and saw dramatic results. So this is the kind of outcome you can expect from OPSWAT MetaDefender Storage Security. So to summarize what our customers are saying and show you how easy it is to get started, since this isn't a month-long deployment, it can be up and running in 1 hour, and I can hand over to CJ, who will cover the marketplace and how and why is it used.
Great, thanks, Loredana. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about AWS Marketplace, specifically why AWS Marketplace. The marketplace helps you find, buy, deploy, and manage software, data, and other professional services that you need, which allows you to transform your software supply chain to foster digital growth and innovation. You can give your teams access to the tools and products that they need from AWS Marketplace sellers, and that allows them to accelerate innovation while enabling procurement leaders to control purchasing, provisioning, and budgets. So why buy in the AWS Marketplace? Primarily, it's because we help you find the products you need, including across a broad selection of products from sellers. You can access software products like security products, DevOps tools, business applications, and solutions that address industry use cases, and of course, OPSWAT MetaDefender. And quickly, you can make informed decisions with customer reviews, product recommendations, and get access to thousands of free trials and free products. We also help you streamline procurement and deployment, which allows you to migrate and modernize faster and with less effort. You can accelerate migration with modern approaches to procurement, such as negotiating custom terms and pricing, or using standardized contracts to speed up those negotiations. Marketplace also allows you to consolidate and optimize costs with flexible pricing options that allows you to ease into commitments and test out software before a long-term contract, for example. And finally, you can enhance governance and control as you're managing a growing cloud infrastructure and want to minimize your risk exposure when adopting new products from sellers. So centralized governance helps control what software is bought and how it's used, reducing the need for manual approvals. Access security and compliance information directly inside the marketplace to evaluate the security posture of solutions faster. And some of the benefits that we've seen is in a study commissioned by ourselves in Forrester. We wanted to demonstrate how Marketplace could help accelerate time to value. And we found that customers who started using Marketplace experienced a 70% time savings in product discovery, 60% time savings due to streamlined procurement, as well as 30% faster time to market thanks to streamlined deployment on AWS Marketplace. And so let's talk through Marketplace in a little bit more detail. So the Marketplace offers centralized management that helps you enhance governance while scaling cloud infrastructure. Primarily, Marketplace manages the catalog and scans 24/7 for vulnerabilities, which allows you to purchase with confidence and thereby reduce your security exposure risk. Vendor Insights, a service inside of Marketplace, allows you to access the security and compliance information of participating sellers in a single unified dashboard, which helps you evaluate and procure software that meets your specific industry standards and requirements. To further scale governance, managed entitlements for Marketplace allows you to automate distribution and activation of software entitlements across accounts in your AWS organization. So you can procure for departments and let those departments have their own control and governance over their applications. And finally, the private marketplace allows you to customize a catalog of pre-approved seller products that users in your organization can purchase, sort of like a self-assisted catalog, which allows your team to move fast while maintaining purchasing controls at a higher level. So how do we procure OPSWAT through the marketplace? Specifically, we'll want to subscribe. So through the AWS Marketplace, we can MetaDefender Storage Security and subscribe with a single click. On Marketplace, MetaDefender has multiple deployment methodologies. You can deploy MetaDefender as an OMI, a SaaS application, and in both cases, we provide auto-generated Terraform scripts and CloudFormation templates to help streamline the deployment. And then finally, once up and running, you can quickly connect your S3 buckets, set scanning policies, define your workflows, and immediately start protecting files. For pricing, availability, and options, we offer private offers, which allow you to take advantage of custom pricing for enterprises, volume discounts, as well as consolidated billing. And finally, through committed use discounts, we provide predictable pricing for steady workloads and flexible contract durations. To look at a couple of the governance benefits of procuring through Marketplace, as I mentioned, we can centralize procurement through Marketplace for you and your teams, including not only the OPSWAT products, but as well as other vendor products as well. And so we can consolidate procurement in one single dashboard. We can utilize existing AWS credits, as well as contribute towards your spend commitments on AWS, as well as consolidating your billing. So not only can we consolidate procurement into a single dashboard, but we can also consolidate your billing into a single AWS invoice that you receive at the end of the month. And finally, we can also provide streamlined approval through an AWS relationship. So if you already have a standing relationship, we can help streamline the approval process for individual applications, including OPSWAT MetaDefender. And something we like to highlight here too is that through marketplace procurement, we can, as Loredana mentioned at the beginning, we can take your deployment time from potentially weeks or months to in the same afternoon. You can get up and running with OPSWAT MetaDefender very, very quickly. So to get started today, visit the AWS Marketplace and deploy MetaDefender Storage Security in your own environment. And you can take advantage of a 30-day trial available today, as well as support that's included by default. As you want to scale forward, you can consult with experts to review your architecture, plan a custom deployment, and go through any necessary specific customizations and configurations required for your industry and your business requirements and goals. We can also perform a POC or pilot and also offer private offer negotiations. To learn a little bit more, use the resources in our AirMeet on the right-hand side of our screen today, where you can access resources around training, documentation, and enablement, as well as accessing MetaDefender through the AWS Marketplace. Again, links on screen are provided for technical documentation, as well as the AWS integration guide and a best practices blog. Ultimately, we want to help you eliminate file-borne threats in your S3 buckets without slowing down your business. MetaDefender helps you deploy in minutes, scale automatically, and maintain compliance effortlessly. And we really thank you for listening to us today and letting us teach you a little bit more about OPSWAT MetaDefender Storage Security.
Yeah, I think to summarize what we covered today, you can eliminate the threats in your S3 bucket without slowing down your business. You can deploy that in minutes, scale automatically, maintain compliance with no effort. So the combination of OPSWAT MetaDefender Storage Security and AWS provides that protection that's cloud native, performant, and built for financial services. And I think the question isn't whether you need this capability. The statistics we shared make it pretty clear. The question is when you'll implement it. So I encourage you to start today. Thank you.